YouTube, what's the big old deal, man? This is y'all favorite hood partner, Big Nina Boy, and we back with another one. This is a video from Between the Line, man. This gentleman that I'm gonna speak about, man, his name is Richard Dorr. Um, yeah, I know I've been watching a lot of those prison little, YouTube segments and stuff, right? Shout out to Between the Line, man. I definitely want to give them they props, man. They doing great work, man. This man right here, name is Richard Dorr. He have spent 31 years in prison, and he's coming out with his story, man, saying there's no glory in gang banging, saying the streets lied to him, saying no glory, just regrets. You know what I'm saying? This ain't life. You know what I'm saying? He warns everybody about, being down for his community and end up doing over 31 years. And I believe he's still incarcerated to this day. Um, and if I'm wrong, y'all hit me in the DM, let me know. But so far, he has spent 31 years in prison. Say the game is a lie. You know what I'm saying? The truth, nobody wants to hear the truth about the ins and outs and the reality of gang culture. He says, don't follow this path. So let's get into the content. Once again, this is a Between the Line video. And yeah, let's fall in. Let's go. All right. And 5, 4, trade, deuce, 1.
I'm in here strictly for loyalty.
Loyalty.
I've been shot on the streets. I've been stabbed in here. And there's nothing to glorify about this. You'll get guys that's going to glorify being in prison, glorify their gang, all that. There's no glory in that.
Hi, Richard Dorr. Thank you so much for being in Between the Lines podcast with us today. I'm happy to have you here, and how are you? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Well, I just want to get to know you and know where you're from and where you grew up. So if you can tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was born in Brooklyn and grew up in Haiti, moved back to Brooklyn, then to Pasadena. So that's where I grew up. Most of my childhood was in Pasadena.
Yeah.
I still have memories of Haiti, still have memories of Brooklyn.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were in Brooklyn, then Haiti, then Pasadena?
Brooklyn, Haiti, Brooklyn, Pasadena. Yeah.
So you have a Haiti background, but Brooklyn raised.
Yes, I was Haitian nationality. Brooklyn raised for half of my life, and then Pasadena raised for the rest of my life, ever since adolescence to adulthood in Pasadena.
Are your mom and dad both Haitian?
Yes.
Wow. So how is that? How has their tradition and their culture affected you?
Well, it's comedic because we was like the most different people on the block. So our household smelled like onions. My father spoke with a heavy accent, so everybody used to kind of tease us a little bit. But for the most part, everybody was family where we was at.
Yeah. And what kind of values do they instill in you compared to the American values?
Well, my father, what a lot of people don't know about Haitian people, especially first generation Haitians, is we abhorred the idea. My father abhorred the idea of welfare. He believed if you have hands, you don't need no wishes. You work hard for it. And he was a person who instilled the importance of education in us. Like he drove that home. That was his pet peeve. It was to the point to where we used to change our grades on the report card when we used to get bad grades.
Sorry, Dad. I did that once.
So education was big for him.
Yeah. Well, that's good. He had kept you disciplined and responsible. And so at what age were you in Pasadena?
I grew up around from about 8, 9 years old till my incarceration, till the time I was incarcerated. I'd go back to Brooklyn, but for the most part, I grew up in Pasadena.
And tell me a little bit about your childhood and what you did. What was that like?
Well, I was always an awkward kid, to be honest with you. When you don't know yourself too much, you're trying to find yourself. So after my brother went to the Air Force when I was around 11 years old, he was like my best friend. So I started seeking other big brothers to fill that void. I was already growing up in like a gang area, an area that was gang infested. So after my brother left, I just took on other brothers. The brothers that I went to school with in elementary became my brothers.
Right.
So and that sometimes that led to not so much of a good path. You feel me?
I feel like if your parents are Haitian, they're on you.
They were on
So
me.
they're not. They were never in the gang world or any. They didn't know any of that.
No, they didn't acquiesce. In fact, my father used to always tell me when I was coming up, I got to do his accent. I can't
Do it, please do
I
it.
got it. He's like, Richard, you will see. You will come back. He say, those guys at the bottom, they'll be there when you come back. They'll always be there when you come back. He used to always say that. So,
Whoa, that gave me the chills because.
And it was true.
And it was true.
It was true. And he
Man, you know, I got to salute to this man, Richard Dorr, right here, because you could tell, you know, he's been in prison for 31 years. You know what I'm saying? You can't get that time back. You know what I'm saying? And he's reminiscing and replaying these mental conversations he had with his father about the reality of how most people should see it. You know, gang culture is the underworld. You know what I'm saying? Nobody rich in the ghetto. There's nobody rich in the hood. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be at the bottom, and that's where it is always going to be, because at the end of the day, that's where the police is at the bottom, searching for the crime and the drugs and the guns. You see what I'm saying? I definitely believe, man, it's a lot of good people that's in prison behind being influenced to gang culture. You know, I actually know some people who got put onto a gang, and that same week they got put on, they went to jail and caught a life case and never came home. You know what I'm saying? And they was influenced, and they stayed solid, kept their mouth closed, and they will spend the rest of their life in prison. So, you know, this man's story is interesting, man. Y'all check it out. Y'all wanted different content, and I said I was gonna give it. So we gonna see how good this do. If this don't do too good, then man, I'll just stop putting out this content and show me what y'all want to see. Let's go.
his idea of America and his idea of America and the reality of what America was for us was kind of confusing for me, because the idea of America that he saw was what he saw, but the idea of America that I understood was a little bit different.
I completely understand, because I'm Colombian, from Colombian immigrant parents, and it's like the way they see LA and how I was raised is completely different to the way that I am. And like, we have our own world, right?
Exactly.
Like, and we make our own decisions depending, but having them as guides definitely helps, I think.
And another thing too is, the world speaks to youth different than they do adults.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come into a world and you're young and you're coming up in it, it's different than when you came and you're already older and you already have your ideas, your set ways, your set values.
Definitely.
So
like the Pasadena world like shaped you essentially through your childhood, which your parents never had.
They never had that. So
then you said that when your brother went to the military, you started,
I started hanging out
with other friends.
getting in trouble. But we was poor. So when you come up poor, and people speak about the way you dress, the clothes that you have, and they're not name brands, I have all kinds of stories where my father used to go to because he was struggling. We had a lot of siblings. So we'd go to the supermarket, and we try to keep him away from the toy aisle. But my little brother used to run into the toy aisle all the time. And one time he runs into the toy aisle, and he goes, "Go get your brother." So I go get my brother. I'm trying to pull him out the toy aisle. My father comes there. He's pulling us both off the toy aisle. And then he looks up. He sees tennis shoes for sale. He starts looking at the tennis shoes. He's like, "It's 6. You can get 6 for $20. Pick 6." So he makes us pick a gang of supermarket tennis shoes. You in school and you're uncomfortable. So that plays a lot in your upbringing.
That affected you.
It affects you. So because you're trying to keep up with that mod that society has for you. You feel me? Most kids. So you grow up around kids that doesn't have too much things, and what we try to do is try to make things for ourselves. That's what ends up happening.
So then tell me a little bit more about that. The transition between your adolescence and how you got here.
Well, as a kid, all my best friends at that age, when I was young at that age, most of them are either incarcerated or they passed away. They're dead. So I don't really have too many friends that are still alive that I grew up with at them ages.
Wow.
bad choices, you know, the neighborhood, you know. So you come up like that, and even if you're smart, like I was kind of a smart kid,
Yeah.
but I used to downplay my intelligence a little bit because it was laughed at. You know, you was looked at upon as a geek. You know, you read books, and I was the kid that couldn't come outside. You know, at one point in time in my life, I couldn't come outside. So when you
Why?
finally do come outside, you know, your father,
Oh yeah.
your family tried. My father, my stepmother, mothers, they try to shield you from the elements that they see that is negative, but without really understanding that element,
Mm-hmm.
because there's really no negativity in the element until you really sit there and you understand it. It's just misguiding.
Right.
It's just people who are misguided a little bit. So
Right.
when I finally started coming outside, I started getting into a little bit of trouble with the people that I was hanging out with.
What does that mean?
Well, you know, we was doing things that got us in trouble. I'll just leave it at that, you know. And then I tried to play sports. I got a challenge one day by a boy in school. His name was Tariq. He challenged me to come out to the field. I thought he was challenging me for a fight, but he challenged me to come practice. So I started I started practicing football. That became my passion. So I started playing football. But sometimes when you're playing sports and you still have that street element, you try to juggle them both. It never works.
Can't.
Dang, man, y'all can hear it in his voice, cuz. Hey, look, bro, let's keep it real. You know, this is probably somebody, if he knew it was gonna cost him life, he probably would have made that hard decision to, you know, make decisions on his own. Because, you know, on the streets, you know, when you're part of gang culture, you know, especially when you're a youngster, you don't get to, you know what I'm saying, make no rules, nigga. You do what's told. If you don't do what's told, then you breaking the code, and it's a consequence for everything you do. You know, and a lot of people are like, I ain't never been DP. That's because you always been a yes man and shit like that, man. It takes a lot of guts to tell somebody you not go do something that you don't feel comfortable doing. Because as a child, you know, your older homies and leaders and you know, top dogs, they're gonna make decisions for you. You can literally hear how this man speak. He like, man, he's been in prison for 31 years. And you can see it. You can see it all over this nigga throat, bro. Like this nigga, like, man, his childhood, boy, he actually, nigga, he knew better. You see what I'm saying? And you know, I don't know if he was trying to blame his brother for going off into the military, but you know, shit, nigga, you know, this is a part of the game. It's hundreds of kids out here that your mama is at work and, you know, you at work and your daddy ain't around and, you know, he's ditching school. Somebody is telling your child what to do. Pull that trigger, nigga, shoot, shoot, shoot. Hey, snatch her purse, snatch that chain off her neck. Hey, big homie, you want me to shoot that nigga? It's a lot of that going on in everybody's city and community, homie. The murders, we gotta stop the murdering too, man. That's the part for me, is the killing. Like, you were killed. It's so easy to take a life, but soon as the news report come on and the police are searching with the helicopter, now you scared. Now you running. Now you like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? Hey, homies, I don't got no money. Shit, nigga. Hey, we just said shooting. You did it. We didn't think you was gonna do it, nigga. And that's how it be, man. Let's go.
You can't have one foot in and one foot out of anything.
It never works. You're either going to be in the streets or you're going to be playing ball. And my entire team was like that. They had the art of juggling pretty much down. So I thought I could juggle. And apparently I couldn't.
The bad news, right now, Vegas home buyers are unknowingly missing out on the best homes and deals.
So this is high school.
This is high school.
And what do you mean you couldn't juggle it?
You can't be in the streets and play ball. It's either you're going to choose. You're either going to choose the ball or you're going to choose the streets. So when you try to do both, you try to be a street guy playing ball, it never works. The worlds collide, you end up in here.
So then what happened?
Well, not to go too much into the situation.
You see it, like I believe this man got to be in his mid 40s or, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, late 40s, whatever. It sounds like he back to being like 15, 16 years old again. You can hear it in his voice. Let's go.
I was actually coming back from practice one day and rode by my old neighborhood and started hanging out with some guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a bad decision. It ultimately caused me to come up in here. So I don't want to go too much into that.
You don't want to talk about the situation?
No,
exactly.
not too much into that.
Okay.
Because I'm still in litigation about it.
Mm-hmm.
And however, what I do want to say is it was a very unfortunate situation. A human being did lose his life.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of remorse there because there's a lot of things that could have been done differently. And I believe everybody there that night, well, myself and the victim paid the ultimate price because I've been in here 31 years behind it. And nobody got the story straight. The story's never been straight. Regardless of how much evidence points to my innocence, the state of California believes I'm guilty. So therefore, it's an uphill battle. When you get in this situation, there's certain things you can say, there's certain things you can't do, there's certain maneuvers you try to do. Ultimately, it just doesn't work out. And you have to end up fighting. You're fighting from a losing standpoint. Because when you're in a situation like this, the penal system wants you to, they want you to have, let's say, they want you to have a law level understanding of the law, fresh in.
You have no idea.
You have no idea. So therefore you're losing. Then they assign you a public defender who doesn't care about you really. He gives you the most minimal defense, most minimal appeal that you can, and you get lost in the system because this is what happens.
Right. So let me just say this, right? In order for you to be successful, with a public defender, it would probably have to be something of lack of evidence, something that the prosecutor dropped the ball on. You smell what I'm selling? Nah, check me out. They do not represent you to get you off. They, like he said, they give you the bare minimum, 9 out of 10. It's always they're plea bargainers. They come in with a deal. They're not coming to get you exonerated from your case. Like, you have to literally be innocent, or you have to have their prosecutor are wrong on the end. They have to mess something up. You see what I'm saying? Or you have to have multiple charges, and they drop all them charges for you to catch one. They're not there to send you home. That ain't what they do. That's not how they operate. Now, some people get lucky with a public defender because you had an easy case, maybe something small, minute, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Something small, but they're not there to fight a real battle for you, because them people get paid hourly like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And they don't make a lot of money. Let's go.
And a lot of these young guys around here, and I used to be one, they believe that their Lord is Savior, that their Lord is Jesus per se. I got a lawyer, I got an attorney, my appeal's gonna go right. And they have all this hope in their eyes. And then they speak to guys like me, and I tell them, you better start to learn your case. Learn the law, learn how to write a writ, learn how to write an appeal, because you're gonna be doing it. And they learn the hard way. It makes you bitter up in here.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you learned the hard way, right? After 31 years. How was the beginning of that experience for you? You know, first coming in, obviously none of your family was in prison. I don't think, that you knew.
The reason why I started this conversation with you and I emphasized that I was Haitian is because part of my coming up in here, it played a lot in it. When I first came up in here, my family wasn't too much there for me. They actually turned their back on me, to be honest with you, because I was an embarrassment. Because to me,
you feel it, you could feel it. You could feel this man's man, nigga. He said, nigga, my family turned their back on me, nigga. Like, I wasn't supposed to be in prison, nigga. I wasn't supposed to go down like that. See what I'm saying? Doing life. And then nigga. And most of the time when y'all go to jail, nigga, ain't nobody supposed to be sending you their hard working money so you can go to the store and get you chips and soda like it's vacation. Nah, nigga, that's prison, nigga. hustle up in there like everybody else. Let's go.
Many people don't, from my family, didn't come to prison, so it's an embarrassment for them until they realized and understood what the system is, and they started learning for themselves.
Yeah.
And I don't fault them. I'm not bitter about it. I understand it. When you first come up in here in prison, you're dehumanized off top. They strip you away. You're a number, and you have to assimilate yourself into a world that thrives on violence. That's the only universal language that people understood was violence.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the proving ground, the testing ground. You know, if you didn't do a violent act, you're gonna do a violent act because that's the only language people understood.
It was like an initiation kind of.
It was not even an initiation thing.
The lifestyle.
You're already initiated. You're in prison. It was a survival thing. It was a boundary thing, a respect thing, power struggles. You know, that people get sucked in. It's a vacuum that people get sucked into. A lot of people don't have any choices. You know, people who's never walked these yards, administration who's never walked the yards and has never really worked the yard and understand the dynamics, they don't understand the pressure that a lot of young people are up under when you come up in here. Is because, you know, if you and I could be playing around and I could say something to you or you could say something to me that I might not take offense to and you might not take offense to, but this guy right here is looking at it, he just read the whole situation wrong. So this is his way of coming in and either casting judgment on you or putting you in a position to where you have to react a certain way to uphold the standard that most people thought that you had to live by up in here.
And you weren't a violent guy before like that? Or were you, before you got into prison?
Before
like
I came to prison, to be honest with you, I wasn't racial lines wasn't a problem for me because I have my family is so multicultural that race wasn't an issue for me. Worrying about what people thought about it used to be an issue in terms of esteem when I was coming up, but that wasn't really the big issue. You come up in here and you quickly learn race. You quickly learn Mexicans over here, blacks over here, whites over here, Indians over here. This group is over here. This group is split. That group is split. You quickly learn that fast. It's invisible line that you quickly learn.
So what was the hardest thing for you when you first got in here?
The hardest thing for me, to be honest with you, was being in limbo, not knowing where my life was going, and having to deal with administration, yard politics, the lockdowns, being away from family. That was really hard. Seeing people lose their lives in the yard for menial reasons, minor reasons, being involved in riots that we didn't even know what it was about. You know, I was kind of testing. Then there was no hope, no education, no educational programs, no self-help groups. So you had a lot of bottled up emotions and a lot of things that was going on inside you that you never addressed, that you didn't even know was going on.
So what was your outlet during that time at the beginning?
Writing for me was my outlet. So I always knew how to write. I just never took it seriously. I won an award when I was in high school for writing.
Wow.
So I never really took it seriously until I became incarcerated and I started writing. I got challenged to write a movie one time and I wrote it and it was more better than average.
Yeah?
So I started writing novels and things of that nature. And like I was telling you, Your Name Ivana is one of my main characters in one of my novels.
I can't believe that. Why Ivana?
Because she's a Taino Indian. She's a Taino Indian in my vampire book named Ivana Tachu.
Oh my goodness.
So she's a one of the main characters.
Well, if it ever becomes a movie, you know, you have to hire me to play you on, obviously, because I'm an actress too.
You got to work out because she just does a lot of.
What are you saying?
I'm
What
not
are you
saying you don't
saying?
work out. I'm just saying you're gonna have to work
Okay,
out.
I'm down. Thanks a lot, but I'm down. You're gonna have to teach me because
jumps
you're
off
fit.
trees and all types of stuff.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
So then, writing for you is like, was like your place of peace and imagination.
Writing was my peace because when you write, right, you get to form the world how you want the world to be formed, and you get to take aspects of yourself and put it into your literature, and you get to express ideas that normally you wouldn't share with other people. So that's what writing did for me, and that's what writing does for me today. Sometimes I like to turn everything off of my cell, except Sade, and write. So that's like really my outlet.
And with the novels that you're writing, what do you want people to experience from it or learn from it or get inspired by it?
Well, everything that I write I don't like cheesy movies. So
Like, what's your favorite
the
movies?
good guy doesn't always win in my novels, because if the good guy won, I wouldn't be here speaking to you. So the good guy doesn't always win in my novels.
What do you mean by that? You're saying that you're the bad guy?
No, I'm just saying the good guy doesn't always win. I haven't won yet. I'm in a position of lost right now. You feel me? Because I'm in here strictly for loyalty.
Loyalty.
Loyalty was big to me. We was raised in the hood like that, to be loyal.
And how do you feel about that now after being here for 31 years? Would you have done things differently?
Yes, I would have done a lot of things differently.
Wow. That's deep, cuz. That's deep. He said he in there for loyalty. That's most of the that's the nail man on the hammer. Most of the cats that's incarcerated, they're incarcerated because of loyalty. Because when you sit back and you think about this shit, not everybody is willing to do what the next dude is willing to do. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like, you know, and then you have to defend some of your comrades. You know, some people willing to shoot it out in broad daylight in front of the world and don't care who get hit until somebody drop and fall and then they die. And, you know, you even get them in your car, they start shooting, you start shooting back, another person die, and you was loyal, so you couldn't just leave your dog stranded like that. So you play ball, you know what I'm saying? Or shit, nigga, you know, nigga, they did something to him and he called on you to have his back because he wanted to retaliate. You jumped in the car with him and retaliated for him, and y'all got caught. You know what I'm saying? Check me out. You know, hypothetically speaking, you got one of your homeboys who went to a party, hanging out at that party. You know what I'm saying? He cracked a little female. She into him. He into her. Woo, woo. I guess her dude was out of town trying to go get some money. He came back home early. You see what I'm saying? And caught, you know, old boy walking out the house. They get into it. Old boy beat up the dude for coming. The boy who just came back to you know, come celebrate with his woman. You know what I'm saying? He just hit on a lick. He catches her, you know, closing the door after the dude leave. He approached the dude. The dude beat him up. He go in the house like, you cheating on me? Who is he? What's his information? Where he from? And all that, right? So them dudes go over there, catch him slipping, jump him, you know what I'm saying? Because he won that fight at his house, and they end up breaking his arm or his leg. And, you know, y'all asking what happened. Y'all see our boy at the hospital. He get out. He's straight. Now he got rage in his heart. He got rage in his eyes. So he call you and tell you, bro, I need you, fool. I ain't letting that shit go. That nigga an enemy anyway, fool. Nigga, I'm about to go smash on that nigga. You with me? Nigga, it's loyalty over love, nigga. You feel me? Come on. He like, man, hold on, bro. Man, come on, nigga. Ooh, you jump in the car. You know, pull up. He like, bro, it's a gang of niggas out there. You got your strap? All right, we both gonna have to shoot this shit out, bro. I was just gonna shoot myself, bro. That's too many people. I won't make it back to the car. You know what I'm saying? Once I bust and they start returning fire, then nigga, you shoot back. You know what I'm saying? And he jump out, shoot them dudes. Boom, 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 boom. Somebody fall. By the time he trying to run back to the car, they shooting back. So his homeboy jump out, shoot back. Boom, 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 boom. Somebody fall. Now you got two bodies. Now y'all jumping in the car. Now all of a sudden y'all speed off that block. Police catch y'all. Have a shootout with police. Nobody died. Y'all go down. 2 bodies and dropped. An innocent child and a grown man died. All because your homeboy didn't know how to regulate his emotions, got you involved, forced you to prove your loyalty. You see what I'm saying? And now he can't help you with anything with your legal defense, your providing for your family. All he can say is, man, dang, man, my nigga loyal, man. I can't do nothing about it, man. I understand you don't want to talk to me no more. We gonna be in here forever, homie. Just know, I love you. They part ways. There ain't nothing else to talk about. Both of them stay solid. 5 years go by. 10 years go by. 15 years go by. 20 years go by. Stressed out. 25 years go by. 30 years go by. Whole life gone. Your homeboy who convinced you to go commit the crime with him, he didn't mess around and died. Now you still alive. That's where the game go. All over loyalty. Let's go.
What are some things you would have done differently?
The main thing I'd have did differently was I'd have shedded some of the people that I thought was friends. I'd have minimized the access that I gave people to me, you know, and
Why is that? What
because
did
when you
them
give
having?
a lot of people access to you, right, that don't share the same core values as you, you open yourself up to what they have going on in their lives. And then you're bounded sometimes, and when you're young like that, and you're bounded by a sense of loyalty, you basically tie yourself to the malfeasance that they tie themselves to. So,
Do you think that because you were giving your energy out to everybody, it led you to this crime that you were in?
this crime is a crime that occurred where I was unaware. I was unaware the crime was going to happen. I was unaware the crime actually occurred the way it occurred. I was unaware. I was totally unaware. It was one of those things where I tell you, hold this watch real fast. For example, hold this watch real quick. This is not my watch. This is this guy's watch. You hold this watch. You want to see the watch? Here, check this watch out. This guy asked for his watch back. He does whatever he does with his watch, whoever he gives his watch to. I'm off over here doing something, whatever I'm doing. And this group goes down here and do whatever they do. Next thing you know, I'm up in here.
Yeah.
That's that type of situation now.
And you said that you were really resentful, but also remorseful.
Absolutely, a person lost their lives that didn't have to lose their lives. And then when you, I'm probably one of the few people who took the time to actually study or do some research on who lost their lives in my case. And it's very sad. Like a good person lost their life. And a good person lost their life under circumstances that just
it wasn't worth it.
it wasn't worth it.
And so, have you made peace with the actions that were done? Have you made peace with it inside?
Well, I didn't take the man's life. I'm not responsible for that. but I am responsible for coming to that street with that instrument that took his life. I'll say that.
Right.
Though I was unaware that that instrument would have been used to take his life, I'm responsible for that.
Right.
I take full responsibility for that. Even though I could make an excuse as to why that weapon left my car. Because it was like a lose-lose situation. You leave it in the car, somebody plays with it that's inside the car. The person that was in the car, he plays with it. While he's drunk, he hurts himself. Who's on the hook for it? You. You take it out, you pass it off to the person it belongs to. Something happens.
But
you're on
isn't
the
there
hook
like an
for it.
intention behind that? Like you're gonna bring it to what? To protect yourself, to have fear of for others. Like there's an intention behind. If I give you a pen, right, or like you're like this, you should write with it. Like so, like was your intention just to protect yourself, or just to
It
have?
wasn't my weapon. It
Okay,
didn't belong to me.
I see.
Somebody else's weapon. But at that time, this is what a lot of people fail to realize. In those days, those was the 90s. Quote unquote squares had weapons.
Right.
Everybody had weapons. It was a wild time. The streets were wild. This is why all those gang tasks came out, different injunctions came out, because it was a wild time. Parties was getting turned out. That's what was going on at the time. Everybody wanted to be somebody. It was only two choices. You was either a ball player or you was a gangster. So you had to make the choice on what you're gonna be out there in these streets. That's how it was.
And you chose being a gangster.
No, I chose to be a ball player and moonlighted as a gangster. I guess is what you.
Man, this man's story, Richard Doris' story, is remarkable. The way he relate information, the way he's conversing his story on a high altitude that strikes reality as exactly what it is. So I'm saying he's not playing the victim of his circumstances. He's not playing the shame game. This man is literally identifying the fact that choosing the wrong people and letting them have access to your life can destroy your life. Gotta watch who you call your homie. Watch who you call your friends, because some of us are loyalty by default. Choosing the wrong homie can destroy your life. And this is a prime example of choosing the wrong homie to destroy somebody's life. And he paying for it. He been down 31 years. They don't talk about this in the streets. They don't talk about the people that's stuck because they don't have a voice. They behind the walls. They just now getting access and getting people's stories like that. It's been around, but now it's on a massive scale. See what I'm saying? And you know what they gonna say? He knew what he signed up for. He knew this is what comes with this life. Prison or death. There's no riches, there's no gold, there's no awards, rewards, nothing. Just prison or death. You know what I'm saying? It's the only options you get with this. So if you got a scholarship to go play ball professionally somewhere, go play ball professionally. And hope that you make it into any professional arena that's going to pay you millions of dollars. This is what I'm on, man. I really hope y'all support this video. Man, I like to do shit like this, man. You see what I'm saying? It's 2026, man. I know a lot of y'all don't want to support the positive content. You know what I'm saying? But this is it, bro. You see what I'm saying? This is the actions behind what people are perpetrating on these streets right now. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, make sure y'all hype this video up, man. Y'all show me some love, man. Let's get to at least 300 likes. That's all I'm asking for. 300 likes on this video. Let's go.
So, but you know, at that time, like I say, we juggled.
Yeah.
Juggling, you can't be in the streets and you can't play ball at the same time. You can't go to school and hang on the block after school. You can't do it, and that's what we were doing.
Can you walk us through a day in your life?
An average day for me is I wake up at around 3:30. I rarely sleep, so I wake up at around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I wash up, I pray, and after I pray, I meditate. Then I do a quick routine, a quick workout routine. And by that time, it should be around 5 o'clock in the morning. So I wash up again. And after that, I'm either doing an assignment that's due that day because I'm in college up in here, or I'm reading something that I'm trying to accomplish, I'm trying to do before they open the door and I go to work. So usually I'm studying financial, how to asset protection strategies. How to work LLCs and that type of thing, credit mastery. So I'm usually reading these type of books early in the morning. Some days it's all about finance. Some days it's all about spirituality. So,
Are you a religious guy, or do you believe in God? Where do you stand within faith?
I strongly know that there's a God. Not strongly, because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't. I've been in here 31 years and I still have all my teeth. I don't have one fake tooth. I've been hurt, but not hurt to the point to where I'm bedridden. I've been shot on the streets. I've been stabbed in here, but it wasn't to the point to where I was debilitated. So I've always.
Yeah, I heard that, man. That man said he was shot on the streets and stabbed up in prison. Man, this new generation, boy, let me tell y'all something. Boy, you better know it's real. Yeah, nigga, that nigga pull out that bone crusher on you and ha ha ha. Yeah, nigga, you only about 100 pounds. Y'all not eating out there. I'm telling y'all, better eat your meat in your vegetables. I'm telling you, get that protein in you, because when you get behind the wall, that nigga, yeah, pull out that yow. Yeah, nah, get ugly out there. Hey, help. Oh, they them. Yeah, nah, nigga, don't run there, nigga. You was bad on the street, right? Yeah. You feel me? So, yeah, man. He got all his real teeth. You understand me? Some people, lose it, because losing your teeth is like a war scar. You know what I'm saying? You got niggas, they jump on you up in there. Them boys jump on you. So imagine, boy, you getting jumped on behind that wall, nigga, knock out your teeth and stab you up and drag you across the floor and shit like a rag doll. Yeah, ain't no mama. Yeah, help you get up out of the nigga. This is what you signed up for. Let's go.
Felt like I've had a covering over me, and I believe that is God, because I believe as a believer, God protects the believer. I'm a strong believer in that. So
I agree with that.
I believe in. I help run two religious services up in here.
Oh, really? Which ones?
I help run Islamic services and IFA services. And as the chaplain expressed, I'm one of their favorite guys, because any type of program that's going on in the chapel, I try to lend a hand to, because one of my outlets also was up in here when I first came in, was to study almost all religions. So there's really not a religion that I haven't studied, from Buddhism to Christianity to Catholicism. So, and what I found is there's a straight line pointing to one X. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what's the through line for all these religions?
They're so alike, right? That to see people fight in the world behind religions and beliefs is comical, really, to me. Because if they really took the time to study, they'd realize that the thing that separates them is smaller than a thread.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that merges them together is so much more. Like, monotheism is monotheism. So maybe we'll all mature one day to get there, but I see correlations in everything.
And how important to you do you think it's to have faith while you're here?
If you don't have faith, you lost.
And is that your biggest goal with these inmates or these incarcerated people that you're with, to like spread the word? And
Well, I'm not really a word spreader.
that's not your
That's not
avenue.
really my job.
Yeah.
I don't really spread the word. Me personally, this is my
MO.
path in life. My path is, if you want the best advice, the advice I give to myself, come ask me and I'm gonna give it to you.
What is that kind of advice? Will you share it for us?
It all depends on the problem. I'm a person who's gonna I'm keeping confidence in anything you speak to me. I'm not a guy that you'll speak to me about a personal issue and then I go speak to another guy about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's two of my friends. If you speak to me about something and you speak to me about something, that something dies with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna give you the best advice. I'm gonna use all the tools that I've learned in all these classes, all the tools that I've learned in walking my own life to give you the best advice. Because what I've learned about prison is it's more so it's more mental than it is anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the physical part is when you give up and you don't have no other ideas and no other ways to resort. This is when people get physical, or when they have things about.
Man, I swear to God, man. He hitting, cuz I was just like, man, the game is 60% mental, 40% physical. I could survive anything because I understood that early in life, that majority of the the lessons and situation that you handle and you gotta go through is going to be mental. It's how your brain receives it, how it processes it, so you can come up with a solution. Because if you want to, hang on it, lean on it, is going to eat you up. And most people act off of emotions. They become irrational behind not processing their current situation that they facing. That's why I say, man, remember 60% mental, 40% physical. Let's go.
About the aspects about themselves that they haven't yet figured out, they get physical. But if you understood the ultimate goal is unanimity, right? You tend to try to find other ways to deal with situations, other ways to deal with people. And a lot of these guys are in search for themselves in here.
Mm-hmm.
So any way I can help that, I help that. You know, I go around and I tell people that we have a class up in here. I tell people I got about the books that I get, and if they're interested, they could come and get it.
And how important do you think reform is, and studying and learning for people here?
I think reform is very important, but more important than reform is, I believe as the incarcerated persons population is put up under these guidelines for reform, I believe staff has to follow that guideline as well. All those old type of ways of thought need to be eradicated.
So what would that look like if there was a new way of thought? Like, what's the new way that you think would be helpful?
Just like how you guys came up in here to humanize us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to give value to our lives. Staff needs to also follow that same mod at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's an easy job for them. I'm never going to sit up there because I've sat up there and watched some of the best guys get disrespected by inmates, and unbeknownst to them, after they turn around, I'm like, why you talk to this dude like that?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they're human beings as well, and they come in here to do a job, and they're just trying to do their job and leave and go home.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys come up in here to do their job, and they do too much.
Yeah.
You know, and some guys come up in here some guys that's top brass has never worked yards before, has never been around inmates. They isolate themselves and they become alien to the yard because they don't understand how the flow and the complexities are on the yard. So you have all these kind of dynamics going on, and they ask people like that's older like myself to help navigate some of these situations and to help guide certain people. And so the job is kind of hard for guys like me that's my age, because we're always the ones they're looking to help navigate situations. And but we never get no accolades for it. There's never no accolades. There's never no laudatory crowns for that.
Right.
You feel me?
So what are you most looking forward to in the future?
What I'm looking forward to most, if God willing, is freedom. I've never stopped believing. I've always believed that it's gonna go right at some point. I've lost a lot of good people along the way, and one of my a lot of people who supported me, I've lost, and I want the opportunity to get out and to broadcast my talents, to broadcast what I know and what I understand about life and the situation, and let it live through what I contribute. And I want to be able to take care of myself with that. I want the opportunity to actually be a man, because manhood is one thing, but responsibilities and being accountable, that's another part of it. And we're only getting a small whiff of it in these situations. You know, I want to be able to control my life, and my own destiny. And I want to be able to influence and impact as many people that I can. I mean, a life without having impact is really sad for me. You know, you have to have some kind of impact. There's too much that's went on up in here, and there's nothing to glorify about this. You'll get guys that's gonna glorify being in prison, glorify their gang, all that. I mean, I could have sat up here and told you all kind of gory stories about the hood and this and that and this and that. There's no glory in that.
There's nothing in there.
That's not to be glorified.
So if you could talk to you the day before, the day that it happened, the day your crime happened, what would you say to those other kids that are watching that are in the same boat, that they when one day the next they can be here for 31 years?
If I could have went to the day before,
if you could have gone to the day before or the moment before, what would you say to them?
If I could have went the day before, I would have told myself, man, you really need to focus on your school and nothing else. Focus on football, focus on your school and nothing else. Leave the hood alone. Leave the hood alone. Because this is one thing I've learned about life, and prison has taught me this, studying religion has taught me this, is God is consistent. All the stories God tell you are consistent.
Yeah.
There's a consistency there. And in the same manner, in the same fashion, every hood story is consistent. You shine, you get put on, you try to establish your name, you try to shine, then you go dark, then you lose. You either come to prison or you suffer so much trauma, right, that you don't even understand that you're affected by the trauma. You watching kids that's 15 years old, your age, that you went to school with, curled up, gone, never to hear they laugh again. This is the lives that we live. You feel me? So if I was able to go back, you know, I tell myself, you need to learn how to make a choice. Because that's another thing too. A lot of us didn't know how to make choices.
The right choice.
The right choice. Because a lot of us never knew what it took to make a right choice. So that's a big part of it too. So.
Can I ask you, is your dad alive?
Yeah, my pops is alive.
He is?
Yeah, he's alive. He's alive.
Why are you smiling so much? Are you guys close still?
You know, he and I, we had our run-ins and moments of disagreement. But at the end of the day, my father, my mother, my stepmother, I love them. And I'ma always love them. Because as a man, when you look at where he came from, what he came from, when I understand my grandfather, what my grandfather was, and the type of life that he was living in Haiti, the political unrest, the instability of the country, the getting chased around those streets, and to make it to America, never been arrested. My father has never been arrested. My father no handcuffs.
Yeah.
My father
good
taught
man.
himself how to speak English, taught himself how to speak Spanish fluently, taught himself how to speak, I forgot which, it's another language you know how to speak. He knows how to speak multiple languages. And to come out here and become a homeowner, you know,
Raise the kids.
raise not kids, children, you know, it says a lot.
So when you get out of here and you get a chance to be sitting with your dad in his house or over food, or what is something that you're gonna tell him that you would want to tell him?
For one thing I would tell him is I didn't get it, but I got it now. That's the main thing. I didn't get it. I didn't understand what you were saying. Because sometimes, even though a person intends well, the lessons that they're trying to give you get lost in translation. Because they're not gifted enough to see what you're going through. So the word that they give you gets lost. And I think that's what happened between my father and I. A lot of the things that he was trying to tell me got lost in translation. So, but now in my life, now that I've grown up and I see life how it is, and I understand reality for what it is, and I see a lot of things that he was telling me was true.
All right, man. Shout out to Richard Dorr, man. Powerful message. Very intriguing. Some real shit though, man. I definitely say, make sure you choose your own destiny, because you only get one shot on this blacktop, bro. You know what I'm saying? Make sure whatever choice you decide to do with your life, you did it. You chose it. Nobody chose it for you. Don't be a victim like Richard Dorr, man. Shout out to Between the Line. This is their content. And yeah, man, like I said, this was a positive reaction. And yeah, man, I'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to hype up the video. Y'all want more, man? Hype this motherfucker up. Hit the like button, gang. And yeah, man, tell me if y'all want more of this. Let's go. Tell you once, don't tell you twice. I'm real discreet, the thief in the night. Yeah. If I call you